In this week's episode, we visit the studios of Afrikaans radio station Paul FM, where radio presenter and owner Lyndon Jafta interviews the Village Guy Paul host Miles Monaro. We do the reverse as Miles interviews Lyndon on his TV show. We end the day off with a late lunch at Paul's iconic Taal Monument.
Dis weer 96.7 FM. My naam is Lyndon Jafta. Goeiemôre en welkom. 10 to 1 gaan jy lekker tyd hê. 10 to 1 is jy ingeskakel op 96.7 FM of jy's ingeskakel op ons webtuiste www.parel96.7 FM. Alright, so today is something special. Today is something extraordinary, out of this world. Why? Because I'm with the mover and shaker from Paul. His name is Miles. And he's from the Village Guy, and then also with me, an old friend that I've known for ages now already, Tamir Murat. Guys, thank you for being in Paul. Thank you for being in Paul FM. Hoe gaan het, Miles? You alright?
Kan nie kla nie, meneer. Everything is all good. I can't complain. Your side?
No, you know, I hustle hard and I stay humble.
Oh, that's what we're all probably doing nowadays, eh?
Exactly, Tamir. Thank you for being in Paul FM.
Yeah, thanks. It's always good to be back here, and especially in this circumstances today. It's quite nice to be here and sitting with you and Miles.
Alright, so there's a reason why we are here. It's not, probably the first time ever that Paul FM and the Village Guy are going to be able to chat about something. But everyone who knows the Village Guy knows that knows what he does in the community, knows the work that he does, knows the exposure that he gives to everyone that has been able to achieve something. Now, let's start at the beginning. Miles, where did the Village Guy concept start?
I think it was just a need to tell stories in Paul. There's so many people doing amazing things that people don't really know about. But also, yeah, I think the main reason was I started like 4 years ago, and I wanted the kid outside to be able to see some inspiration for the person next door. So I always say if people ask me, I always say if someone in Amstelhof that lives there and they, for example, Rashwal Samai, and he's a world Olympic long jumper, why can't the kid in the street do exactly the same thing? So it was basically, I think we're in a society where kids need for someone to look up to.
Yeah.
They disappearing every now and again. But the storytelling for me was the important part, because none of these stories I've been telling have come easy. I mean, a lot of them go through a lot of trouble to be able to be where they are today.
Yes.
And I just wanted the kids and the youth out there to say, someone I can do, if they can do it, so can I.
What I like about it is the fact that you are basically you shortening the gap. Instead of, for example, having someone who's out of reach,
Yeah.
in terms of the guy in the street, or the guy at the kid at Amstelhof, or the
Yeah.
kid at Klein Nederburg,
Yeah.
or the kid at Paulus Joubert.
Yeah.
They are able to reach because they know Rashwal Samai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They know beyond Fortuin.
Yeah,
They
what he does is he makes it relatable, and that's
Yes.
what I like about the Village Guy Paul. It's like you explained, they're relatable. That
Yeah.
guy ran in the streets
100%.
where they are running,
Yeah.
and now he's there.
Yeah.
And that is also one of the reasons why I like your show.
Yeah.
Because I always see that it's someone relatable that you actually know in the community. And I just want to touch on something that Miles said about you started the show because you wanted to showcase, if people are doing amazing things. You guys are doing amazing things.
Yeah.
and hence why I want to showcase on today's show at Prime Culture TV what you guys are doing in the community.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. It's altijd lekker. It's always nice to see that someone notices what we do. Because it's a lonely journey. I promise you. I'm not sure how long you take in terms of getting your content ready.
Yeah, I mean, me and Sami chatted. I mean, most of the times for the past 4 years, I've been doing everything by myself.
Yes.
So, of course, I've got my own job, let's call it work, that pays the school fees, and that's, of course, takes priority. So between 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. and 2 a.m., that's when I'm doing the Village Guy, because the school fees are being paid. So, but it's also, I think the Village Guy it's a passion of mine. I was telling Tamir also, in July I took a bit of a break from it because I just need to sort out my life.
Yeah.
But at the end of the month I felt like empty. I almost like, what's my contribution to society, because I didn't yeah, I didn't feel I was contributing, and I think it, like my copy was a bietjie leeg, July, but it also gave me a bit of like aanmoediging. Okay, whatever you're doing, just keep on doing.
But that's the one thing. You need to empty yourself
Yeah,
for others to feel inspired.
yeah.
How much does it take from your mental side? I mean, how much does it drain from you?
I think I've realized if it's your passion, you really don't look at anything else. Like time. I mean, I've never made any money out of the Village Guy. I'm only going to start doing advertising now, but there's so many times where I'm doing things that I don't get any money for it, but it's worth every time. So if I have my consultancy, I can spend a lot of time on it, like 5 hours on doing one legal agreement, but having a 2-hour session wherever with people telling a story. I always say, like, I've got days where I'm like really tired and I can't do it anymore, but then I'll have one interview, and after that interview it's like, geez, I'm a new person because I just got my energy back from that story. So I think that mentally it's not tough because I don't think there's really pressure on me because it's a passion project. So I do it when I can, but I really try, and I think I really try and put content out there that's number one, relatable, number two, that is good news and positive news.
Yes.
And number three also is like, if someone watches it or reads it, they can say, oh, maybe that's my bit of inspiration. We all watch these short TikTok clips and we say, okay, that's the message for me, and this is what I'm going to do differently today or treat people differently. So I think that's what I want. I espouse my content must be, people must look at it and say, geez, okay, that guy comes from Chicago, that guy comes from Paulus Joubert, if he can do it, so can I.
Ja, so gesels Miles van the Village Guy. Well, it's always inspiring to know that someone can go onto a platform and say, like you said, if he can do it, then I can do it. Now, also, I mean, if you see Thamir driving around with his Mustang, then you think to yourself, if he can drive it, I can drive it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Thamir's story is also, he's like a hustler for life, you call it. So he's just a person that is always hustling. But I think it's, for me, is the Mustang is the end product.
Yeah.
I think the journey for me in getting there. So everybody would think, oh, this guy plays for the Springboks. Oh, this guy plays for the Proteas. And that's like everybody's goal, but they don't know what it means to
The hard work that was put in to actually get to that level.
Know that
setbacks.
100%. And if you think of it, I mean, Paul is just a sports dorpie, and if you think that the sports people, it's not an easy journey. I mean, we're just looking at now Wasps in England. I mean, they just closed doors now. 167 people lost their jobs. Francois Hougaard from Paul is playing for them. I spoke to him in the week. Unemployed, so a professional sports person, it is not an easy job because there is so much coming out of the woodworks that
and there's so much happening in the world now.
Yeah, like
so it affects everyone and everybody, and that's why, again, the two of you and the story that you guys put out there, it's always, I'm a big fan. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sitting here today as a fan, just watching the two of you. Because look, normally I'm the guy doing the interviews and I'm the guy doing the talking. And this I love. I'm sitting here and just watching two creatives from my community engaging with each other. It's beautiful.
Yeah, the nice thing is to be able to sit back and say, wow, look who's been on Miles' show. Look, the platform that is given to whoever. Whether it's a guy that just started out, whether it's a guy that's on his journey, or whether it's someone who wants to give back. Those three, and I like what you said with regard to the journey. Those are the three pillars that one sets up for yourself. I'm starting out. This is where I started, and then this is where I'm currently at. I'm still growing in my journey. And once you've reached that point, not in terms of Francois Hougaard, who, for example, now is unemployed as a result of Wasp losing all that money, but getting to a point where they say, you know what, I've reached so much. It's time for me to plow back into the community, to make someone else's dream come true. And that's the one thing that I think, that I know is what the platform that the Village Guy gives. Now, you don't just do Facebook entries. You also have some video footage that you do.
You do a YouTube
where you
channel
interviews.
as well.
So tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I think because we are in this digital age, and I've also realized I've got a nice following, and I know my community. I've got a very engaged community, and I think there's a big move away from Facebook. So
Yes.
You have to adapt. I mean, like they said this weekend, I watched something and they said, if you're not on TikTok now, you're irrelevant. So
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even want another platform because I really have. So I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, and I'm on YouTube, and I've got a website. So that's 5 already that keeps me busy. And TikTok I think it's just a crazy app that you just have to be consistent all the time and
Consistently crazy all the time.
yeah, and I mean to do to chat and it's.
I would like to come in there because you guys obviously know Melanie Du Bois.
Yeah.
Melanie is a good friend of mine, and she actually came on board as a partner in my 1 Minute Film Festival now recently. So we're taking it forward, and we're also busy. I don't want to say too much about it, but we're also busy shooting our first feature for cinema, myself and Melanie. And she said the exact same thing. Tamir, you have to be on TikTok. And I told her, but listen, when I see TikTok, I just see a whole lot of people doing crazy things.
Yeah.
I'm a businessman. You know, I don't have that personality where I'm going to be a loony. And to be frank with you, I don't see Miles or you or me being TikTok people. We don't fit the mold.
Yeah.
So I'm also trying to understand when people say TikTok, for what purpose?
So I think that the TikTok app, it's not only dancing. So if you are a content creator, you must be on there because TikTok adds a lot of value, and people like I look at my.
But all we see is the dancing and craziness.
Because
that's the stuff
those
that comes
are
up.
the things that are shared. So like I've how do you say? My TikTok does not see dancing, because I don't follow. Once you like and follow those stuff all the time, because they know what you watch.
Yes.
Yeah. So if something if you are over 5 seconds or something, that intrigues you because you've got 2 seconds to move up. So they see what you watch. So if you're watching, so if you're watching, if you're watching nature and you like National Geographic and you're watching snakes and stuff, and you go over the 5 seconds, they're gonna constantly push National Geographic.
So Miles, you're saying that I like to watch people dancing. That's why it's coming up on my feed. It's all my followers are dancing on TikTok. That's why it's coming up on my feed.
But you see, you have a very inspirational journey. So if you, for example, use TikTok to push that motivational trend, to use that to inspire your followers, then that is what they will come after. Same with Miles.
Let's see.
So if you use it for the right way, and like Miles says, if you're a content creator, use it for the right purpose. Same like Facebook. Facebook can be detrimental to everyone, but if you use it for the right way, then you're gonna get it.
I mean, a good example is I'm bad at sales, so I watch a lot of sales. There are 5 guys I watch all the time on TikTok. And they are only the people that pop up on mine. So because I'm watching sales and I searched, I'm bad at sales or how to sell better. So I get those type of TikToks. So, but at the end of the day, social media's that thing is you can have all the advice and all the videos, but you need to take that step. Like for me, it's like I've watched like 10 million hours of sales, but I haven't taken the step. You see.
So what is the next step for the Village Guy?
Yeah. So I've got this plan in my head that I really want to do Village Guy full time, as I mean my copy was peculiar, and I thought if I could do it full time, my positive impact could be bigger, and that's what I'm really striving to, because I've got this thing that pays school fees, but it takes a lot of time, and I think if I could spend more of that time on the Village Guy, my impact would be bigger. So I really want to create like a digital marketing company. So I do have a few clients that I do websites for, social media, because I understand the Paul environment, I understand the content they want to consume. And I think the next step is to start advertising on the Village Guy. I think that is, I put it out there last month. I already have 5 advertisers that are on board with me for I think 3-4 months. So I think that is my next step. I think that's what I want to do, and I think my impact will be more significant if I get paid to do it.
Here's the thing. One thing that and we will speak about this later on. First of all, you've got the platform, you've got the reach. So congratulations on taking that step, and also all of the best.
Thanks.
It's not something that will happen overnight, but I will know, and I spoke to Tamir about this as well. People always have the perceived idea of your success.
Yes.
Until they know how much time you've put in to reach that success. So from Paul FM side, Miles, all of the best.
Thanks, man.
The next journey of the Village Guy.
Yeah.
And we can't wait to see that success coming.
Yeah, more storytelling.
Alright, this is Merel 96.7 FM. Tamir, thank you for being in studio once again.
It's a pleasure, Lyndon. Always nice to be here. Like I said, I didn't have much to say today. I was watching the two of you, and that's how I like it.
Ons is Warmie van Klanke. Thank you very much for tuning in. Net hierna gaan jy 10 to 1 'n lekker tyd hê. Hier is Danzo Kodoro, Fast and Furious.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Village Guys show. Today is a special day because we've got some guests in the studio. So Sami Murat and Lyndon Jafta from Paul FM is joining me for conversation. And the conversation is going about, just Lyndon's journey in the Paul FM space, why he started a radio station, and just his journey up until now. And Sami is just going to join us for some conversation and probably some banter, what he's good at. Good afternoon, Mr. Jafta. How are you?
Well, thank you for having me on the Village Guy.
Yeah.
It's been a while. Interested to know that we started 4 years ago together.
Yeah, I saw in your studio this morning because this morning I had an interview on Paul FM, and in October 20. So it's this month.
Yeah.
You're 4
1st of
already.
October.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Give me the highlight of that 4 years.
It's being able to make a difference in the community.
Okay.
We now have 4 standard community outreach programs that we started 4 years ago. It's the sanitary pad one, it's the coffee for sockies, where we sell our Paul FM coffee. We use all that money to buy school socks that we then hand out to various schools.
Okay.
And then also the sanitary packs for women that we also do. And then at the end of the year, 3rd time this year that we'll be doing it, 200 kids that we're inviting from the community. We give them each a Christmas gift. I mean, every kid wants a Christmas present.
Right.
So we give them all Christmas presents, we give them something to eat. And then the highlight is Father Christmas that does a skydive and lands in front of the kids.
Okay, exciting.
Yes, yeah, exciting.
Samir,
Father Christmas does a skydive
Yes.
and lands by the kids.
In front of the kids.
And that you do on Christmas every year? Or what?
It's the first weekend of December.
Wow.
It's our end of the year project, and that also coincides with our last.
Sorry, man, I'm just picturing this Father Christmas figure
Yeah.
falling out of a plane.
Yeah. Now remember, this actually started during COVID, where so many of the grown-ups here lost their jobs as a result of COVID, and my idea was, and it was a mad idea. How are we going to ensure that we give back to the community at the end of the year, and that way putting a smile on kids' faces? So what I did was, I had this mad idea and I spoke to KFC and I told them I would like to have gifts, actually meals. And they said, well, we'll give you some gifts as well. But the problem is that those are corporate gifts. They're not Christmas gifts. Yeah. So I went further with my crazy idea and I called Crazy Store and I said, I'm looking for 200 presents if you guys can assist. They said yes. And then we needed to entertain the kids, but it's in the height of COVID, so you can't reach out to any kid. So then I got a mad idea, and that is to get a Father Christmas to do skydive and land in front of the kids. So I went to a corporate insurance company, and they sponsored, and we did that the first one. Wow. Last year, Paul FM sponsored or made sure that we get the Father Christmas again out of our own pockets, and this year we're going to do it again for the 3rd time. And every single time, the Father Christmas had to land in the parking lot at Rembrandt Mall where Paul FM is situated.
All right. I want to hear more about that story. Samir, what brings you to Paul? Because I see you more abroad than at home.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a crazy journey. I see you see I'm sitting here with my shades and I don't get to sleep much, so my eyes has been a bit nuts. It's I'll probably be flying out soon again, and I'm here to do a show on the two of you. You guys are always giving back and getting guests to do their journey, and I want to hear Lyndon's journey today.
Yeah.
Oh, lekker.
Yeah, so I mean, like Lyndon, so you said that was your highlights. What is the low light of that 4 year that you thought, I don't want to do this anymore, and what kept you going?
Well, the low light for me was losing my father during the year.
All right.
I think that peaks all the lowlights.
All right.
Because he's a source of inspiration for me. And for a while, I mean, you mentioned earlier on Paul FM that your cup ran dry.
Yeah.
Same with me.
Yeah.
And I'm actually starting to refill it again.
Okay.
So that to me was the low light. But we've reached so many other things. That giving back to the community is a highlight personally for Paul FM.
Yeah.
But then also we were able to partner with a whole lot of projects. Last year I was on Clock to share Paul FM's journey and to share my journey. And also CakeNet took me in for a couple of projects where I needed to go and do some media coverage at various events where they exclusively invited some media partners. So that's also, it's nice to see that we've been able to build on the relationships. And I'm just looking forward to just growing those relationships.
You also get to meet a lot of interesting people on your journey. Because
Yes.
remember, I was probably one of the most interesting. You went
No,
to the show.
definitely.
So I'm in London when he came to Paul, and I remember this guy was, you know when a new guy comes into Paul, he hustles. London, literally, that's how I remember him. Coming into Paul, like making the right connections, meeting the right people, trying to start this. And you think to yourself, is this guy actually going to make it? Because, coming into a new town, because you're originally from
From the Eastern Cape.
from the Eastern
Yeah.
Cape, coming into a new town, setting up, and now he's like one of the most well-known names in our community. So kudos to Lyndon. So when I met him back then, I saw this entrepreneur spirit in this guy.
Yeah.
Who wants to have his radio show, and I think that's also what also drew us to each other,
Yeah.
and just keep going. But that said, I follow you on your social media platforms, and there's so many. I always see those interesting faces. Tell us a bit about the interesting people that you met.
Yeah, thank you for highlighting the fact that I came and you saw it. I remember the first time we spoke was when Mama, I sold you. Your book was released.
Yeah.
So that's when I interviewed
Yes.
you the first time. Some of the interesting faces, Christo Visa, I spoke to him, and it was prior to him losing so much money on the stock market. He could still smile, but he still smiles. He was one of the most interesting guys that I spoke to. And then a whole lot of people came to the studio, which we invited. Our first international artist that came to Paul FM was Judy Boucher.
Yeah.
Spoke to her, and then we became friends. I also met All for One. I also met Kevin Campbell.
Yeah.
I spoke to him. I interviewed him on Paul FM as well, and a whole lot of other international icons.
Yeah.
We were able. Myself and Sybil were also WhatsApp friends. It's always nice to get inspiration from her. And interesting, she's not just an artist. She has a degree in music, and she lectures. So it's interesting to find out what a passion. You spoke about a passion of yours with the Village Guy. It's interesting to see how a passion took her from where she was to where she is.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm excited about your journey and where you want to go with the Village Guy.
Yeah.
Because if you do it with passion, then you're not going to worry about who's going to pay me tomorrow.
Yeah, 100%.
That will come.
Yeah.
And the passion doesn't mean that you have to work a lot harder than you do when you do your work where the school fees are being paid. So the passion drives you.
Yeah.
And that's basically what I do with Paul FM. That's the passion for me, building relationships, making a difference, and in the end, enjoying it and enjoying the journey.
Any local names as well, Lyndon? Sorry, Miles?
Yeah, obviously you were one of the first that I interviewed on Paul FM. I remembered when I spoke to you that I wanted to start my own radio station before I started doing my research. So just interestingly, and I'm not sure if I told you this before, Miles, I did research for 3 years before I applied for my license. I got the frequency, and then for 3 years in my car, I drove around listening to nothing. I took the frequency and I programmed it on channel 1 in my car, and I imagined how Paul FM will sound. I imagined the music, I imagined the interviews, I imagined how someone is speaking nonsense, and then I correct them. My family's with me in the car, and then they start laughing at me because then I speak loud.
Yeah.
What's this guy talking about now? Oh, I like the song. No, this song is not right.
Yeah.
So what I did was when I started out, when I went live on the 1st of October in 2018, I had a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week show with all the music being pre-programmed, knowing exactly what I wanted and when I wanted. So that put me on the journey to becoming where we are now.
Yeah.
25,000 listeners later on per week and 35,000 on streaming every month.
Yeah.
That took work.
Yeah.
People will now, for example, see or hear adverts on radio. That took work.
Yeah.
But the consistency is what one needs. You can have a passion for anything. If you are not consistent in what you do, and your quality is not consistent, then you're not going to get the results that you want.
Yeah, so I'm just intrigued. So 4 years ago, you wake up and okay, 4 years plus the 3 years of research. Do you wake up and you just say, I want to be a radio station owner and a host? Or what was the life before that? Like, I mean, what are you doing before you wake up and say, today I want to be a radio station owner?
Yeah, were you like one of those kids who were
Yeah.
interviewing when you were, is it always
I talk a lot. My father used to say I talk a lot.
Yeah.
Sometimes I talk too much. I was at another radio station, but prior to that, I was in retail for 25 years.
All right.
So the target-driven industry is what kept me going.
Right.
Marketing and sales is what I like doing. Not cold calling, just marketing and sales. So I started out. I started my own company after being at another radio station where I had some success.
Yeah.
And while I was doing the reason why I started radio was I had a whole lot of relationships that I started, that I built up for that radio station.
Right.
And when I left, all those relationships fell flat.
Right.
So I got a call to say, listen, we need this content to go on air, but where you were, they're not interested in working with us anymore.
All right, okay.
So see if you can get another platform. So what I first did was I got a whole lot of other radio stations involved.
Yeah.
But they said, that's okay, we have contact there, but we need this area.
Okay.
We need to target this area for the content that we have, which
Alright.
is in Afrikaans.
Yeah.
So I did research to see whether another marketing platform in the form of a radio, an Afrikaans content, would be something that the PAL area would need, number one. And number two, if there's place for another platform.
Right.
A radio platform for marketing in Afrikaans.
Correct.
And once I was done with that research, after 3 years, I was invited to University of, actually to Bloemfontein, where the University of Free State gave a National Community Radio Week program.
Okay.
And they offered a couple of courses. One of the courses that was on offer was a project management course.
Yeah.
I opted for that. It's a 1 year course which they combust into 4 days, and then you had 3 months to do a project. So by then I already had my research done for the radio station, so I used that as my project. And proud to say I got 93% for my project based on all the research that I did.
Wow.
So once I got that, I had confirmation, if I needed any confirmation, that this was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I started out.
Okay.
Some of the interesting people that I spoke to, obviously Tamir, because I like his drive, and this is not because it's your show. I always speak to him with regards to the drive and the passion that he has for what he does. I've also spoken to the executive mayor of the Drakenstein municipality. Every year I invite families to come and speak to us about their Christmas traditions. So he wasn't with his family, but speaking to him was exciting because he has a passion for this town. I also spoke to a whole lot of other people who became PAL FM listeners. So it's exciting to know that when you go after my show, I go out, I can still go and relate to the people on the same level that I was on the radio. Why? Because you are filling a gap that wasn't there before.
Right.
Our focus is 90% Afrikaans in terms of what we speak.
Right.
When I interview you and you speak English, then Tamir knows, then you speak English.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I stay true to what my roots
Ons
are,
praat jou taal.
and that's Afrikaans. Is 90% Afrikaans in terms of what we speak.
Right.
When I interview you and you speak English, then Tamir knows, then you speak English.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I stay true to what my roots
Ons
are,
praat jou taal.
and that's Afrikaans.
Yeah. Okay, and then do we need funding to start a radio station? How does it work?
Well, it all depends. There are four different radio licenses that you get. There's a national license and the regional license. This is, for example, the SABC radios.
Okay.
Then you get a community radio station, which obviously a community board, the NGO will run that. You have a commercial radio station, which is some of the bigger radio stations here in the Western Cape. And then you get a private commercial radio station where they give you a low power
All right. Okay.
output.
Cool. All right.
Now, then you have an option. You can either go to signal sender, or you can set up your own stuff, your own transmitter, your own antenna.
Cool.
So I opted for that.
All right. Cool.
So wasn't the only funding that you need. You need to buy your own equipment.
Yeah,
number one,
100%.
you need to pay for the license.
Yeah.
And Bob's your uncle.
So if you're not on radio, what we doing? Are we married? Do we have children? Do we have dogs running around?
For 2 wonderful kids. I also have another company. I do procurement.
All right.
I also do corporate gifts and corporate clothing.
Right.
Focus on wherever one can make money. So that's where the marketing comes in. I've been doing marketing for most of my life. And that's why when I did my research, it was based on the experience that I have in marketing, and then just obviously use another platform.
So of course media takes a lot of time out of the 24 hours. How are you juggling having a media company, which takes a lot of time because you have to do research, you have to make sure that you're listening to your radio station to make sure your presenters are saying the right thing at the right time, but also you have 2 other companies and you have a family and you have kids. I mean, isn't that the challenge?
Yeah, I'm hungry like the wolf.
Yeah.
Tamir once told me, and I never thought this would come true in my life. He once said, "There are no sleeping time for champions," and it really starts hitting you when you know that you need to meet certain targets.
Yeah.
But you also need a balanced life.
Yeah.
So when I'm at home, I try to switch off.
Yeah.
When I'm at work, I try to stay switched on. And when you
Linda's actually taking me back. That was my slogan back in the days. There's no office hours for champions, and I actually lost that mindset lately. And by you actually just saying that now, you actually just made me like, whoa, you know, because it's like if I could have affected you like that back then, then it's something good. Yeah. So maybe I should just get that mindset again. Because look, with COVID and everything that happened, a lot of times we become a bit, you know, you get into that slump, and because the whole world is faced with negativity, especially being in South Africa now, you know, everybody's struggling. We have a bit of a power crisis. I don't even want to go into depth. So you hear stories of companies closing the whole day. You hear things of people losing cars, houses. It's just, everything is just negative. It's very difficult to get positive news being fed to us. And again, that is what the 2 of you are doing on your shows. You give us positive news. That is why me as a Paul local, I like to follow the Village Guy. I like to follow Paul FM because it gives me that positivity, and it just gives you a bit of, you know, that there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
So what are the big plans? So of course, radio stations, 4 years old, congratulations. What are we looking for in the next 5 years? Well, maybe say 1 year and then 5 years.
Look, there's 5 year to me is going to be the big milestone that I would have reached, because of the fact that, I mean, when you turn 1 year old, people are a 1 year old baby, are so cute, everyone
Really make
likes
it easy,
Afterwards, if you fall, you need to get back up. No one helps you to fall. No one helps you to get back up. They teach you to walk. So all the struggles that we have been through in the last 4 years, it taught us a whole lot of things. I started out this year, every year we have a team building. This year's team building was about pruning and nurturing. Every single, whether it's a plant, whether it's a tree, every single one of them is nurtured and pruned individually. You can't, for example, give certain plants too much water. You can't give certain plants too little water.
Yeah.
And you can, for example, with a hedge, you can let it grow the way you want.
Yeah.
As long as you prune the right way.
Yeah.
You can leave it to grow, or you can prune it and it can stay, whatever you want from it.
Yeah.
So what I want from Paul FM for this year already, I've had to prune, I've had to nurture, I have had to cut off what doesn't work, what doesn't suit, and unfortunately that growth is continuous. But for 5 years, for me to look back and say, wow, the first 5 years of the license that was offered or that was given and submitted to Paul FM, we've been able to use it.
Yeah.
We've been able to look back, or I'm able to look back and say, we've been able to do this in the 5 years, make a difference here, grow. I mean, every single presenter of Paul FM, except for 2, didn't know anything about presenting, didn't know anything about radio. Now I can trust them with a 3-hour show.
Yeah.
So, in terms of brand awareness, we need a vehicle. So I'm looking forward to buying our kitty in our 5th year.
Okay.
Volkswagen Caddy, branded. We can see. I'm also looking forward to a contract with or barter deal with some of the big TV channels.
Nice.
I'm working towards that. It's actually, as we speak now, I just need to put pen to paper, so I thank God for that. And then also just more partnerships.
Yeah.
Partnerships that are mutually beneficial, but to grow Paul FM. We have the right voices, so those voices need to be seen. Those voices need to be seen on TV. So I'm working towards relationships for those presenters.
Yeah.
It's for them to be able to grow beyond radio, because we are just a vehicle. We teach life lessons. If you are able to go and implement those into your personal life and out to the world, you can portray to the world. Then it means that we as Paul FM have done something.
Yeah.
And that's where the nurturing and pruning comes in.
Cool, man. Tommy, your next 4 years? Okay, you probably don't look at 5 years, but your next year?
I don't even know what I'll be doing next week.
Yeah.
Nah, look, there's, you know, back in the days I had this whole, before COVID, I always had 3-year plans and 5-year plans. And to be honest with you, since COVID hit, I'm in survival mode.
Yeah.
So I'm in the stage of my life where I take it month to month and I do what needs to be done to grow again. Hopefully next year, because I think things are starting to calm a bit.
Yeah.
I think as of next year, I'm looking to rather start putting out yearly plans.
Yeah.
There's no more, I want to make an example. Back in the days, I signed a 5-year lease at a massive building.
Yeah.
And I know it's a 5-year plan. I'm here for 5 years, I signed a lease. The moment I'm not in that space, you want to just get through the next month, 2, 3, and you know what I mean? I'm doing so many things. So wherever it ticks, whatever happens, wherever the focus goes, that's where my direction will go.
Yeah.
And at the moment, we are here today filming for Prime Culture TV, and I want to end this by saying thank you to Miles and Lyndon for being on our show. We're on Miles' set today. As you can see, it's a beautiful set with the village guy Paul. We're definitely going to do something else with you in future on set as well, and we're definitely going to do something else with you on radio as well. Yeah, so thank both of you. Thank you for having me. I've got a bit of a surprise for you. I want to take you for lunch somewhere.
Yeah, okay.
So, so let's wrap up and then just have a nice lunch.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Guys, so that's Lyndon Jafta from Paul FM, I'm going to say Paul FM TV. Let me just say that again, sorry.
No, thank you very much for that word.
Yeah.
I accept it.
Projected. It's going to be Paul FM TV one day.
I accept it.
Yeah, guys, so that's Lyndon Jafta from Paul FM, and then Samir Murat, that doesn't really need introduction here in the Paul community. From here at Workshop 17, the studio of Village Guy. We'll chat again soon. Goodbye.
The Tall Monument is synonymous with Paul. You cannot come to Paul and not visit the Tall Monument. All of us has memories about the Tall Monument, and some of the memories I don't think can be said on live TV. People come to the Tall Monument for other reasons, but I'm going to ask Lyndon first. Your most fond memory about this establishment?
I think it's all the shows. The first time I saw the Rockets live was here at the Tall Monument. And many other shows as well. So
wow, the Rockets!
Yes.
You're actually giving away your age. Do the Rockets still? Are the Rockets still?
Yeah, a couple of years ago. It's exciting. I've met a whole lot of guys here as well. And the nice thing is the unity that you get when you
Yes.
come and enjoy a show here. Many Paul people, and everyone comes to enjoy themselves.
You, Miles, most fondest memory of the Tall Monument?
I think it's the amphitheater. It's just an amazing venue. I mean, I think I came to watch a choir, like a choir bonanza, all the schools singing here. And it was at night, and it was just like such a cool environment. All the different schools singing, sound was good, perfect weather as always in Paul. But it was just like, in my mind, I was just thinking we should make use of this amphitheater more often, because it's an open air theater. I think they can put nearly 300 people in there.
Yeah.
So I've got this dream of having idols here one day, Paul idols. Everybody queue here. You can have your judges sit in the amphitheater.
Wow.
And then just have the
That's
live.
a great concept.
Yeah, and then just have the live show. People come up here, and you could have the top 10 singing here. Nice audio, nice visual. That's something I really want to do. Like just a idols singing
Yeah.
bonanza here in Paul.
I'm actually going to tell you the story about my fondest memory here as well. I obviously grew up in Paul for the viewers as well. And my best friend who lives, Ebeline Steele, I'm going to mention her name. She lives overseas in Barcelona at the moment. We met when she was about 14 and I was 16, and this was like sort of our spot where we came to clear our minds and get away as youngsters from the world. So she was in love with the Tall Monument, and she sort of introduced me to the calmness of the Tall Monument and the nature reserve in this area.
And I think a lot of people don't know that here there's a mountain bike trail,
Yes.
trails for kids, it's nice and short that kids can do. A lot of people don't know that you can actually come up and have a whole full day here.
What I love about the Tall Monument is the various tours that you can go on.
Yeah.
And it's all educational. And I mean, just learning about the history of the language. The monument obviously symbolizes it, but just the various influences that Afrikaans language has.
Because I mean, we have an English show, but this is the birthplace of Afrikaans.
Yes.
And especially for someone like you, it actually made sense to have an Afrikaans radio show coming to Parel FM, being based in Paul, where the language actually originated.
Exactly.
Marsha, wow, this looks amazing. First of all, tell us a bit about the dishes that you have prepared for us today.
So fine, that is a 3-cheese omelette. It's made with 3 eggs. We have a choice of either mozzarella cheese, cheddar cheese, goat's cheese, or cream cheese.
Okay.
Okay.
And what's Lyndon having?
Lyndon has got chicken mayo, toasted sandwich, and in the chicken mayo is grated gherkins and pepper dews.
Sounds delicious.
It is delicious.
Miles, that looks like some sort of a croissant.
That's a croissant with scrambled egg and sliced tomato.
Okay, and this special fish dish in the middle?
This is just fried fish. We were prepping for pickled fish.
Okay.
All right.
So we're giving you the taste of the fish. It's not pickled yet.
Okay. Marsha, tell me, did you wake up one morning and decide to own a restaurant?
I always knew that I wanted to own a restaurant.
Okay. Is this like the big
I
dream?
worked for a big corporate company
All right.
and for 18 years.
Right.
And I responded to a tender in
Okay.
November last year.
Nice.
Oh, so you've been here for?
I've been here since January.
Since January, yeah.
Yeah.
And how's it going being an owner of a restaurant out of the corporate world?
It's honestly, it's something new. Everybody dreams of having a coffee shop, but nobody really knows and understands what it's about.
What it entails.
The challenges, staff challenges. But mind you, the staff that we have, most of them have been with us from the start of January, so they've walked the journey with us till today.
Okay.
They're very happy here. The day I came for the open meeting,
Yeah.
and I saw this view. This was an empty shell, by the way.
Yeah.
The view is amazing.
I know, the view is so stunning. People, Cape Town, I promise you about 80% of Cape Town has not been here.
Yeah.
They need to come and see what it looks like.
Yeah.
We get very good reviews on the food, so fortunately,
Yeah.
we're very lucky with that. We focus
We're
on
gonna
quality.
give you a review
I would love
today.
a good review, honest review, because we focus on quality. We are halal friendly. I have hundreds of Muslim friends, so they get only the best.
Okay.
We've had a
That's
Muslim
quite
wedding
interesting
here.
because if you look at it, the Paul area doesn't really have anything
No.
that's halal where you can actually sit and come in.
No, and that's the thing. There isn't any place where they can eat. And mind you, some of our Muslim clients, they will request things. I've given people some versus spring rolls and pies and things like that, which we always have stock of. My friend Shada makes that. Then we have halal boerewors. And the big focus is going to go big on. I would love to go fully halal one day.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just amazing here. really.
So if I could ask you, if you had
Yes.
4 people at the table that you could dine for, any people in the world
That I could dine for.
could dine for, could make food for, dead or alive, who would those 4 people be? That you could invite here and dine for them. And have a conversation with them. Who would they be?
Well, really anybody. And I promise you, the way I'm going to treat somebody that walks in from the street and a celeb that walks in here is going to be exactly the same.
But who are your dream guests?
My dream guests.
Yeah. Well, normally-
Gordon Ramsay.
Okay, well, but then you have you must have a high quality threshold if he comes, right?
Wow, yes. I often dreamed one day he's going to walk through this door.
Listen, this is delicious. I'm not going to lie.
Yes, it
My
is.
first.
3
yeah.
cheese omelette.
Okay, Gordon Ramsay, who's next?
Oh gosh, I wouldn't know.
So what's your signature dish?
My signature dish. Oh, I love making curries. I love curries. Baking, my speciality. Make a very good cheesecake, carrot cake, chocolate
nice.
cake,
Okay.
and people come back for that. Make a mean chicken pie,
Nice.
and that's also one of the signature dishes. The other one would be the chicken schnitzel
Yeah.
that people keep coming back for, because with that we offer 3 sauces. You get either a pepper sauce that covers the whole schnitzel, pepper sauce, cheese sauce, or mushroom sauce that goes over the schnitzel. We've got a new summer menu that's starting now. So we'll have daily specials like pickled fish in summer, for instance. People love that. We can have chicken salads. We have open sandwiches with salmon and cream cheese. You know, that type of thing. So we've got some new things coming up,
Exciting.
exciting things coming up.
What non-verbal response do you focus on when your clients have something to eat?
Non-responsive, nobody
Non-verbal.
comments.
Yeah. Not just their body language or their heads nodding once they taste your stuff, your food.
Yes, that happens often.
Okay.
People will always, but the waiters know them is always going to ask for feedback. Feedback is how we succeed. We don't get bad reviews on our food. 1 or 2 people complain that they wait long, but once they get their food,
It's delicious.
then they're okay with it.
Well,
then
thank you
they'll
for your
say
time,
it's worth the
Moshe.
wait.
We're going to enjoy our lunch, and we'll give you feedback afterwards. Thank you for having us.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay.
In next week's episode, we visit the Central Mosque, where the predominantly Turkish community of Aachen gathers for prayers. We talk to Moroccan student and entrepreneur Amin El Argubi about his home city of Rabat. He tells us about the sights and sounds of this amazing city. Steve shows us his unique style and gives us tips on how to stand out in a crowd. We end the day off with a food fair at Aachen Central Mosque and take in the flavors of the Turkish Muslim community in Aachen.
Thank you for watching this episode of Prime Culture. Tune in next week, same time, same place.